Good morning and welcome back to Anti-Depressing. This is a show where we talk about everything from liturgy.
To Lexapro. Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Hello.
As
Coming at
Jasmine
you with your first
said,
morning show.
morning show. It is currently 7:18 in the morning, Florida time, 6:18 in the morning, Wisconsin time. You might be thinking to yourself, are you guys
Who
insane?
are
The
these
answer
girls?
is yes, we are.
Yes.
But we're so committed to the bit that we're here. So
So committed.
we're so committed to the bit and we love it. And Jasmine is just awake because she has children and a life and stuff
Of
to
course
do.
we're
So,
awake.
yeah, so we're just awake and I have to be up for work. So, all around this is really working out and we're so happy to be here. Yeah, so this already like kind of rocks. I'm going to have an apple right after this. My whole life is going
Yeah,
to change. So,
same. I'm gonna get to snacking after
yeah,
this
so like
happens.
all around, this is just starting off my morning well, so I just can't believe it. But Jasmine, how the heck have you been doing? What is going on?
I have been doing good. I think
Okay.
I say this every week and will
Yeah.
say this every week until
Yeah.
June. Maybe I haven't
Mm-hmm.
started saying it yet. Maybe this is the
Mm-hmm.
first time. Um, really gearing up for camp. It's really happening. If you know me, around this
This is
time of year,
crunch
camp
time.
becomes my whole personality, and it will be that
Mm,
way until July.
camp
So
ends. Yeah.
prepare
Mm-hmm.
to get sick of me talking about Alive in You
Mm-hmm.
and getting ready to do my job this summer. So
Mm.
nothing but the best. Just deep in that motherhood and camping, that is
There
life.
it
Not real camping because I'm not that kind of girl.
is. Deep in motherhood and camping, but not the kind of camping
Not
that
the
you
kind you're
think.
thinking of.
Because absolutely not. Yeah. Well, that
How are
is so
you?
good. I am doing well. I am just, working. I'm preparing to go out of town this weekend, which is, going out of town is like always a
Can you
vibe,
share where you're
right?
going, or is this a secret?
It's top secret. No,
Okay.
I'm going to oh, my alarm is like, Chanel, are you awake for work?
Like, yeah, girl,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
awake.
awake. So I am going to Washington, D.C., because I'm on the board of NFCYM, which is this awesome National Catholic Federation of Youth Ministry. So we're going to
Yeah.
talk all about our strategic plan for the next couple years. So I am excited to do that. And it should be a good time with great people. And yeah. And just to wear like clothes that aren't my work clothes because I'm taking a couple days off work. So just to, wear actual jeans. I don't know. I just always wear my work
She's
uniform.
getting crazy.
Yeah. So all around, like life is looking pretty exciting. Being a grown up is just like looking for the day where you don't have to wear your normal uniform every day.
That's so
Um,
true.
yeah, like of
Well, and
pajamas or just sweatpants or something. So
yeah, and on a
just rock.
deeper way, you're stepping back into ministry, which is now not what you do for your day
It
job
is.
and
Yeah.
used to be what you did for your day job.
Yeah.
So it's very,
So.
I'm sure it's nice to be able to kind of like dip your toe in it without having it be your
True.
whole thing?
Honestly, word, yeah. So it is also exciting to be able to be around people that do that all the time and talk about it without it being like something that I do all the time. So
Yeah.
I'm doing really well. I am currently looking at your some clothes that my mom got your baby.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I'm gonna
Oh my
send
gosh.
I'm gonna like send this in the mail today.
The little
She
whale,
got
I
she got like a
cannot.
6 pack of little baby bodysuits.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I'm gonna
So
send those in
cute.
the mail. And other than that, just kind of still on my fiber protein flow. We did get positive feedback from my sharing of my food. And
People love
so
it.
yeah, so
Okay.
like I am still on that flow, still trying. Yesterday I did make some roasted edamame for a snack, which was very
Ooh.
good. So all around I'm like really, really trying. It
You're
was
really doing a good job.
yeah, it was edamame with some sesame oil,
Oh, here it
some
is.
chili crunch,
Mm,
some sesame seeds, and some pine nuts. So it was
that
very
sounds
good.
amazing.
Yeah, it was very good. So I'm like trying really hard to stay on my flow. And yeah, other than that, just kind of vibing. So happy to see you. So happy to be
So
awake
happy to
and
see you.
alive. Yeah.
Let's do this.
Let's do it. So, first, we do have some antidepressant Catholic news. Do we have a miracle from Blessed Solanus
Ooh,
Casey? I think we's do. So for those that are listening that are like, what is even that? What is
What
Chanel
is
even
even
talking about?
happening?
Yeah, fair. So before saints become saints, in the sense that like here on earth we call them saints, obviously they're saints if they're in heaven, but before we call them saints here on earth, we need a couple things from them. We need some verified miraculous from
There it
them.
is.
And so Blessed Solanus Casey has a potential miracle. We have Mary Bartold from DeWitt, Michigan, experienced persistent stomach pain leading to the discovery of 2 ovarian tumors scheduled for removal on August 2nd. She was seeking divine intervention. So the thing about the miracles is that we need the miracles to be associated directly with the blessed that is on their way to sainthood. Her parents visited the Blessed Solanus Casey Shrine in Detroit on July 6th of 2024, praying for Mary's healing on July 30th, coinciding with Blessed Solanus Casey's feast day. A preparatory ultrasound revealed that both tumors had vanished, eliminating the need for surgery. The Bartold family attributes this unexpected recovery to the intercession of Blessed Solanus Casey, whose cause for canonization is currently under consideration by the Vatican, meaning like the Vatican is looking into declaring him a saint here in the earth world. So
The earth realm.
in the earth realm. However, if he's in heaven, he's a saint. So but yeah, we just need
don't know, so we're
things.
taking
We just
guesses.
don't know, right? So like so these are just some things that we need, some things that we do up in this church. And miraculous for Mary Bartold is very, very exciting. And congratulations to her, because that's also just beautiful that she does not have to suffer anymore with her lack of ovarian tumors. So that is in Anti-Depressing Catholic news, is that we are just really rocking and rolling with this cause for sainthood for Blessed Solanus Casey. So
Amen.
yeah. So congrats to
Let's
Mary
do it.
Bartold and her family. And so that is your Anti-Depressing Catholic news of the day.
Chanel has to make up songs.
I do have to make up. I was about to be like, you know what I really want to do is dance. But the thing is, if y'all don't recall, is that we do not have access to a song anymore.
Actually, wait, let's say it. We have some thoughts.
Okay.
If you guys have been here forever, you remember a while ago. We're talking a year at least.
Whoa.
We were at my house in Florida, RIP.
Wow.
And me, Chanel, our producer Will, and Steven, my husband, were all in a room together. Chanel sang a fire song about anti-depressing. And the people loved it on the old Instagram. People were big fans. Now that we're having this crisis where we don't have our sound pad anymore because we've upgraded, we're always improving, we're always growing. I was thinking, and we have discussed, actually having the recording of Chanel singing that little ditty that people loved, that I probably shouldn't have, anyways, and inserting it into our episodes. So how do we feel about that? I know people requested for it to be their ringtone. People were feeling that song. Should it be the new Anti-Depressing theme song? Please let us know. Let us know what you think.
Drop in the chat. But until then.
Drop it. Until then, Chanel's going to
Until then, I'm going to really do it. Here we go. I have a tickle in my throat. That's the song. Oh, no. Okay.
Oh,
so
no.
Here we go. Oh, no. All right. We're anti-depressing, and today we're gonna talk about some stories. It's the morning, so my song is really upbeat. We're anti-depressing, and we're gonna talk about some stories.
Ooh, not the run at the end.
Yeah.
That's what
I hope your husband's
for.
impressed by that. Yeah, I hope your husband is very impressed by that. So, welcome to Anti-Depressing. We're going to talk about some stories, and here we go. For our first story of the day, pastor and gospel singer Marvin Sapp goes viral in a video where he told his ushers to close the door in resurface video, where he asked for $40,000 in donations. Okay, so this is a resurface video from 2024 that went viral, as things do. Pastor and gospel singer Marvin Sapp is being criticized on the internet, according to Fox 26 Houston, after he told ushers of the church to close the doors and challenge those at a convention to donate $40,000. The long and the short of it is Martin Sapp said, "How am I going to preach up here and not lead by example? Leadership leads and they understand the cost that is involved." After telling the congregation the story, he goes on to tell the ushers in the church to close the doors multiple times. He then tells the convention there are 1,000 of them in the sanctuary and 1,000 of them watching online. So he challenges everyone to donate $20 in order to raise $40,000.
Okay.
He then challenges the preachers to donate $100, saying it costs to sit up here.
Fair.
Okay. So, however, many people on social media are claiming Sapp held the church members hostage and say they would have left. People are saying that it's unfair and that it's kind of a little crazy. Jasmine, what are your thoughts? Ushers lock the doors. You're in a church and the priest says, go ahead and lock those doors until
I'm
you
sorry.
guys.
With the current, I'm trying to not make this so intense, but like, I don't want to be locked in anywhere.
That's honestly,
in this
and my mind didn't even
life.
go there, but you're absolutely right. And I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. Immediately, if a pastor would have been like, lock the doors, you would have seen me run like you've never seen me run. I would have been hitting that exit.
Yeah, you would have been like, Stephen, put the baby in the little wrap thing.
We're going.
Put Joy on my back. You hold Noelle, and we are sprinting out of
going.
I
don't want to be. I mean, there's 1,000 people, he said, in there, trapped in a room with 1,000 people. Like, you could not catch me. So I think, one, the idea is crazy. I'm sure if people were like, I have to get out. I don't know. What was the wiggle room? What was the bouncer policy? I'm really not sure. This is also kind of crazy because, like, sure, it's just $20. But was this like a conference, or was this is your church that you're donating to?
So this
sounds like,
this is a convention where he was preaching, and he was like, "Hey,
church convention.
It costs money to run a church. Like, it costs money to just do it, and God asked for us to tithe. So, like." For those that have been in, have sat in a youth office or sat in a church for any point of their life, you probably heard, 10% of your time, talent, and treasure. You probably heard that all the time.
Yeah, you got to donate it.
Yeah, you got to donate.
I just think, like, in 2024, now in 2025, money is tricky. And, like, life is very expensive. I think locking people in a room and demanding that they give some of their money to this thing, and potentially to a convention that they paid to be at. I'm not positive, but they could have paid money to be there in general. I think that's kind of intense, and it doesn't feel dissimilar to when you're sitting in mass and all of a sudden they roll in a screen and you realize it's the bishop's appeal.
Oh my gosh, yes. I literally was going to be like, does this or does this not feel like what is that thing that just ended? It is the bishop's appeal.
The bishop's appeal.
Yeah, what else do they call it? The Catholic, shoot. Oh gosh. I forget what they call it in Florida, but it's like, it's this thing where for weeks, it's just like, oh my gosh, like, we have to give, and I'm always like, where, like, what are we building? Like, it's just like,
and I think the tricky
feel
thing
trapped there,
especially in Florida, which I'm just gonna say this on the podcast, it feels right. There's a lot in the Diocese of Orlando that's emotionally complicated for the people on this podcast.
Word.
And we could just leave it at that. There's a lot of history there. There's a lot of depth.
Yes.
And specifically with some of the leaders at the diocese. So
Word.
whenever all of a sudden they roll in the screen and the bishop's like, anyways, I need your money,
You're
it's
like,
like hard to be in there.
you're
And
like,
I
what?
have left many a Florida parish during that part. And thank God I had the opportunity to just like step in the hallway. But if I
Yeah.
was locked in there, I don't know, you guys.
That would kind of be it. So yeah, it kind of feels a little bit, it feels very much like that. And the deal
Yeah.
is that Marvin Sapp also issued a statement where he said he provided additional context, right?
Yes.
Where he said, and context
Okay,
is
I'm
important, right?
excited to hear him explain.
He said, as a minister, fundraising
Okay.
was a part of his job at the
Which
convention,
also sucks.
where
That's
he
not fair.
called it stewardship rather than manipulation. Okay. All
As
right.
they do.
So he said, some have taken issue with a particular moment when I instructed ushers rather firmly to close the doors during the offering. To those unfamiliar with the church context or who may not regularly attend worship gatherings. Okay, he's basically like,
Okay.
for those who don't go to church, for those who don't go to church, this is kind of how it is, okay? This has been misinterpreted as holding people hostage as well as offensive. That was never my intent.
Okay, and also like this is a Pentecostal church, different culture.
Yeah, word.
Okay.
Word.
So
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe this is how they get money in the Pentecostal church. If you are listening and you are Pentecostal,
please let us know.
Let us know if you have been locked in a church and if you think it's not a problem.
Even you saying that sounds like they're gonna drop in the
Blink
chat
twice.
and be like, sorry, actually, our churches don't lock doors. That's not really how it works. And the Lord wants joyful givers is the point. The Lord wants gleeful,
donate,
joyful
but like,
givers.
Maybe not like this.
Maybe not like this. Across all, ecumenically, the Lord wants joyful givers. Stop locking us in churches. Stop. Like,
Stop rolling out the screens.
Especially during mass. Yeah, like during mass, I'm sitting there and I'm like, and you don't, and the thing is that the priest doesn't conclude mass. Mass has like a conclusion, like a blessing and a send forth. And the priest,
he won't give you that blessing.
He won't, it doesn't end until after the announcement. So you're just kind of
and now they've started doing the videos during the homily. They'll be like, I'm going to not give my homily so that we can do this. It's like do your job.
And like it's hard. And like it's hard because it's like everybody works.
I get it.
Everybody, like we need to raise money, but the tricky thing is, chat, like how can that work without people feeling like they're locked in a building?
Yeah.
So
I feel like we need to revamp it. Like we've been doing things the same for a while. We've been locking people in churches. We've been rolling out screens. We've been giving up our homily. Like, maybe it's not working. Mm-hmm. Maybe we need to reassess how to motivate the modern day giver. And what are some things we could do?
It's about grabbing the attention of people, which I totally get it.
But maybe there's another way. I don't know what it is right now.
But maybe
nobody asked me. But maybe there's another way.
But Marvin Sapp, he was really on to something, you know? He said, ushers, lock the door. And people did give money. He did get money. And it was successful.
I mean, although I would hate to be locked in a building, I would pay to get out.
So maybe we're wrong.
Maybe this is the motivation. I'm willing to stand before you and say, maybe we should be locking people in buildings more to get donations. Maybe that is what we're missing.
You know what? So thank you, Marvin Sapp, for being iconic and showing us how we could actually...
And for never apologizing for your behavior. That's the
sing and dance before the Lord as we drop our gifts of joyful folly before his feet while we're locked in the building and we literally can't escape. So there we go. Yeah. So thank you, Marvin Sapp. He came out with a statement, though, that did say people were being a little mean to him.
I'm sure.
And a little threatening. So, hey, let's all remind ourselves
it's fair that it was his job to do it.
Yeah. So
that's not fair. It's so
Let's be fair
ease
and like
up.
let's not threaten people for something they
Yes.
had to do, okay?
Yeah, there's
So
a greater system at play here. Okay,
exactly.
give him a break.
Exactly. So that is Marvin Sapp. Those are our thoughts. And please do not lock me in a building if you want me to give money. I
Yep,
guarantee you that if you just ask me, I am so passive that I will just give it to you.
that's actually fair.
Yeah, I will probably not stand up for myself and I will just give it to you. So for our next story,
Yeah,
more on just like church. Today's giving church, but this
giving church.
is giving a church where there are boundless, endless possibilities to be outside. You are not locked in any space. You are
Church
free.
can be anywhere you are.
Church can be anywhere you are, right? And in this case, Butch Wilmore, the NASA astronaut that was stuck in space for like 6 months or something crazy like that.
Which, how crazy, but
Yeah, or like a year, something insane. He had an interview when he touch landed back down here and kind of like gained his spirit back a little bit, because I just can't even believe that. 280 days they were in space, though they initially just planned to be there for 8 days, you guys.
that's insane.
I just wouldn't even make it. He talked about being in space and he talked about kind of what helped him survive up there. According to Fox News, he said, an interviewer said, "I heard that you were still attending your church services from space. Can you tell me a little bit about why that was important for you to do?" He said, "Well, goodness, the word of God, I need it," the astronaut began. "My pastors are the finest pastors on or off, in this case, the planet," which is literally the biggest flex. Can you imagine?
Whoa.
I would put that as a banner on my church website.
No,
Our pastors are the
absolutely.
best pastors on the planet. Like, imagine
On
that, okay?
the planet.
All right. And to tie in and to worship with my church family was vital, Wilmore added.
Wow.
I mean, it's a part of what makes me go. Wilmore shouted out a Tennessee church, saying he would watch their services while aboard. And then he talked about some other churches. He said Wilmore described the weekly services as invigorating and emphasized how important Christian fellowship is to him. Part of what I need as a believer in Jesus Christ to continue that focus, a system day in and day out, because I need fellowship, even though it's fellowship from afar.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I love this. It's kind of like our quarantine live streaming into your mass, but from the sky. You know, it is just to an all new level. But I love the highlight of how important it is to still be invested in your faith. I am shook 288 days that he wasn't like, actually, I give up. I give up. I don't know about all this. So to stay committed to your faith, to stay committed to all of this, beautiful, love it, very inspiring. Such a
Honestly,
testament to the need for community.
Yeah, honestly, love, agree. I feel like there's like not much to say besides the fact that community is important. He's literally stressing that.
What an inspiration too. Yeah.
Where you find community is not just important for you to be able to hang out with people, but quite literally important for your survival. And he, like, imagine you're in space with one other person for 200 days longer than you hoped. And stuff is just happening down here. You have family, you have friends, you know, you might feel like, and there's a testimony right here I'm about to preach, okay?
Say it.
You know, you might feel like you are disconnected from people around you, right? You might feel like you're in a space emotionally that you were in longer than you might have anticipated. But what bring you back down to earth, quite literally, is, and I'm preaching right now, is a community of people that will rally around you. Okay, they're quite literally important for your survival. So thank you.
That was beautiful, Chanel.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was the Holy Spirit.
That was the Holy
Spirit. And I will put my Cash App in the bio so you guys can each send me $20. And then we will unlock the next part of this podcast. Okay. So thank you so much. In our Patreon, which, you know what? Who knows, you guys? I'm going to put my Venmo in the bio.
Put it past us.
Thank you so much, NASA astronaut Butch Wilmore, for just
Thank you for
being
your
real
time.
about how, what you need to make it and how helpful
Absolutely.
that was for you, because that's inspiring even for those people that are just rocking it on planet Earth, in the Earth
Earth.
realm. For our last story, I'm gonna just kind of let you intro this one, Jasmine, because this discourse has been happening all over. I'm honestly really surprised that I have not heard Katie Prejean talk about it.
I
Um,
know.
I feel like maybe it's just kind of not on her radar yet, but
That's fair.
yeah, but this discourse
And
has
I
been
feel like
happening
it's been
mostly
so
everywhere.
intense back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, even on things that are not. I've seen people just using these person's songs in their reels, and then people commenting and be like, I would never use this song because she said, blah, blah. Okay. Um, so, anyways, if you don't know what we're talking about, Chapel Rowan, who is a 27-year-old pop artiste,
Mm-hmm.
really popped off this year. Was nominated for things at the Grammys. Her songs are everywhere. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
escape them.
Cannot escape them.
You
Mm-hmm.
cannot, much like a locked church, you are locked in to hearing
You
these
are locked
songs.
in.
You will
Yes,
hear them.
absolutely.
So she was on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and she was asked about, like, would you ever want to settle down, get married, have kids, etc. This is the context of how this all came to be.
Yep.
And she was talking about how she, like, is at such a different phase than her friends. She's from the Midwest. People get married relatively young, generally in the Midwest. So context, context, context. And she sharing about her friends that are having children around her age, 27. She said, I actually don't know anyone who is like happy and has children at this age. She said, I've literally not met anyone who is happy, anyone who has light in their eyes, anyone who has slept. To which the host was like, this is not looking too good. Let's just be realistic.
This
This
is
was
not
not
looking
going
too
well.
good.
This
I
is
don't
not
know
going well
about
for the
this. I'm
viewers.
not
I
I'm not
don't know
really
about what
sure.
you're saying here.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so some people are like, yes, girl, we are tired. It is terrible. Being a parent is hell. Is some people's responses. And then other people are like, girl, what? I have never felt so fulfilled as when I've had children. This is so tone deaf. This completely like fills my cup. Um, so there is discourse on both sides
Yeah.
of this. What I will say is, and I'm interested to hear. Actually, no, before I speak about my thoughts as a mother, Chanel, as someone who is surrounded by people who are married, who are having children, you are
Mm.
not in a dissimilar situation from her. Okay. You are
Mm.
seeing these people around you. You're at a different phase of life. She was talking about, like, how much does it suck that her friends have to, like, get a babysitter for them to just come to
Mm.
her concerts, which also, where are these husbands? But side related, it feels like maybe her friends didn't pick good partners, but that is besides the point.
Word.
She is saying, like, they can't even just like go out and do illegal stuff with her anymore. Like, what
Mm.
they have to get babysitters if they want to do that. How crazy is this? What are your reactions? Do you feel like there's truth to this, to what you see around you? What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think like uh, 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 I think that as someone that has friends that are, yes, all married and trying to have kids or have kids, it's definitely one of those things where like they're all exhausted. It's very
Mm-hmm.
it's not unnoticeable, right?
Yeah.
Like they're all tired. They're being like haunted by these growing people that just like don't really sleep, have fluctuating emotions,
Mm-hmm.
are just like trying to figure their own existence out, and you're trying to support someone in that but also trying to support yourself in existing. So I think like from the outside looking in, it looks exhausting, and I don't think that's
Mm-hmm.
wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that
Yep.
everybody can say that looks exhausting as like a statement fact.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think the happiness piece really, like you said, context is key, and I think that she's expressing something that maybe she's experienced and lived through.
Yep.
And maybe she just truly hasn't seen parents that are happy, because they're just kind of drowning in a particular stage
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
life of having maybe like toddler children, which is pretty exhausting, or whatever. But for me, I don't know. I mean, I do see a lot of joy for my friends that are parents. I see a lot of exhaustion, but I see a lot of moments of them just being really, really hyped up because they have such wonderful kids and they have a wonderful family. And this is something they've created and are working on and are proud of. So I just think it's, I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think when you comment on things like when Alex Cooper is like, this is not going well. I think when you comment on things like parents and parenthood and children or whatever, you're bound to get yourself looped up in the like parent discourse wormhole.
Which is a scary place to be.
Which is a scary place to be, right? It's like, I imagine like being a mom, it's like you get caught up in a mom wormhole where all of a sudden there's like mommy blog comments and it's just like insanity. I just think like, you know, it could be true that she could not witness any happy parents because it's exhausting, to be honest. Yeah. And I don't know if I think it's right that parents are like, this is tone deaf and this is one of the best experiences of my life. It's kind of like, I feel like parents just need to, if you're happy with your family and somebody says, hey, I've never seen happy families, then you can just kind of continue to be happy with your family. I don't really see the need to be like that raged by it. But then again, like, I don't know, I could be off base.
Yeah, I do think in general, we've talked about before, people love to be mad. People love to make it feel like it's about them. Like Chapel Rowan called me on the phone and was like, Jasmine, you have no light in your eyes and you don't look happy. And like, she didn't do that. She said that people around her. Now, if I was one of her friends, Chanel, if you were on a podcast and you were like, I've never seen a parent that's happy, like no light in their eyes, I would come in and be like, girl, what like I know that sometimes I'm tired, but be serious. You know what I mean? Like, I think if you are one of Chapel Rowan's close friends, call her and be like, girl, seriously, like,
but what's happening?
Maybe you also don't feel this because, again, it sounds like maybe they don't have supportive partners, which I don't know. Like, some things, there might be a disconnect here, which is fair. I also do think it's a greater symptom of a problem we have in our country of like just lack of support for mothers, lack of support for parents. Like, I know we've talked about this before with my second child. I went back to work after 6 weeks. Like, that's not enough time to heal, to be ready. I do think there's like a lack of maternity leave support. Like, we have a broken parental system. And so I do think you're kind of set up for failure. She might be seeing some of these things. That's really tough. Also, it reminds me a lot of like when you're young, if you came from a broken home from parents who did not handle that situation well, you might grow up and think, I don't want to get married because I've never seen anyone happy in a marriage. I think there's a lot of people who don't see happy marriages, happy parents, healthy parents, parents who have healed from their childhood trauma and are able to be present to their children. I don't know that everybody has seen this and experienced this. So I think it's fair that she might be saying like, hey, it looks kind of miserable. Like being married, being a parent, it looks kind of miserable because I haven't seen anyone who's doing it happily. I think that's a greater systemic issue and potentially an issue with who you surround yourself with. Because I do think you can find parents who are overjoyed to be with their kids, but we'll also admit we're exhausted, we're tired, but we're still happy. We still have light in our eyes. We still have hope. Like we're still, so I think it's both things, but I think it's not that uncommon for people to feel like, I know when I work with teenagers, there's a good handful of them who are like, I don't want to get married. Being married looks miserable because that's all they've ever seen. And so if you are out there and you are married, a parent, anybody who's actually enjoying themselves, enjoying their life, happy to be married, happy to be a parent, I think it's partly like our responsibility to show that and our responsibility to be proud of that. I know I feel like a large obligation, like when Stephen was doing youth ministry, when Noel, our first, was little, we were like always at the church with stuff,
Yeah.
always there supporting him. I think there's such beauty in seeing a couple minister together and seeing them present and seeing them happy and seeing them healthy, because you know there's teens, there's young adults, there's people there who haven't seen that and haven't been in relationship with people like that. And so all that to say, I think this is even more reason to, if you're in a situation where you are healthy, happy in a relationship as a parent, like go out, show people that, show people the good in it, show people that there can be hope and happiness and light even when you're exhausted. Like it does not have to be an either or. You can still feel good regardless.
Still feel good. Honestly, that is such a word, and I concur. And I think that if anything, like it's the same, this trend is happening on social media about people being like 31 with no kids, and there's this trend happening, and all these mothers are like, oh, is that just because you like, I love my kids, and people are like,
and like
it's
not everything's
awesome,
an
like
attack.
Yeah, and it's like not everything is people saying that like you can't love your children. It's just also people saying like, I maybe don't want children, which is also fine. Or people saying
Also
I don't want
fine.
marriage.
Yep.
However, I think the beauty of what you are saying is that it is good for people. It is okay for people to think that. And it is okay if folks are like, yeah, I just kind of want to live in that way. However, if it's accompanied by everyone is miserable, this looks like the worst thing in the world, then I think we as in you all that are actively married and have children do have a greater responsibility then to be like, okay, whether or not your life changes in the sense that like you're gonna start having kids, that doesn't really matter, but what matters is your mindset. And I want you at least have an understanding that it's not just hot trash. And I do think
it's not complete garbage.
Yeah, like that's the important part. Like whether or not you start having kids or you're married or whatever, like you cannot be that way. But like just that your mindset changes to at least it not being viewed as this like horrific thing, while also being this thing that is like hard. I think that the mindset change is important.
Yeah, and I think like because we're on the internet and people are like keyboard warriors, there's such this temptation to like defend what you are choosing to do with your life by attacking someone who's doing something different. So like I see a lot of single people who are like, I would never have children. What the heck? You guys don't sleep. Kids are awful. Like I like all these horrible things said about children, like, and it's like, it's okay if you don't want to have kids. Like, it's actually okay. But then on the other side, parents who are like, how does it feel to have a life without purpose? Like, people who are choosing like, to not have kids. And it's like, what is going on? Like, I just think whatever you are doing in your life, have the confidence that I'm doing it because this is what I feel like I'm being called to. This is my vocation. Also, another reason why, like, actually, if you're in the context of the church, it makes these things make more sense because, like, you're living out your vocation, right?
Yeah.
I think like whatever you're doing, do it because you feel like that's what you're being called to without having to attack what someone else is doing and say, well, I would never do that because whatever. Like just be confident in what you're doing and don't attack someone else's life choice. It's kind of bananas.
It's a delicate dance. It's a salsa. Dance. It's a beautiful sensual dance of like, well, you don't have to attack other folks. It's okay.
You actually
and then
don't.
Also, if you're rooted in what you're doing, then also it's not that deep sometimes. If folks are like, yeah, that doesn't look super fun. People can have an opinion and say that doesn't look super fun because they also might just be seeing the non-super fun part. Think about what you're expressing, because then it gets into the moms and dads being like, well, some like we don't always have to be on, be free moms, like you don't always have to be on. And it's like but if that's what people are seeing all the time, then of course folks are going to be like, yeah, it kind of looks miserable. It is a delicate dance that it's that I think we are going to be in for quite a long time. But the good news is
who we are now.
The anti-depressing news is that we do not have to figure all of this out now, because people will keep having children for a very long time.
They will.
And people will keep being single for a very long time.
It's
and
true.
So That's
And
just
the
kind of it.
anti-depressing news additionally is like, we are two young ladies
And we're doing it.
living two different lives, living different things that we're feeling called to at this moment. And
Yep.
like both are like, yeah, that's right for you. I'm proud of you. That's great. I love that for you. And that's beautiful. And that's
yet,
great.
when I have something going on, I know who am I going to call? This one right here.
And I'm
You
not
know?
going to be like, well, that isn't even that hard because you slept through the night last night.
But like,
I'm not going to do that.
And it's like, and we have a responsibility to be like, okay, yeah, like I know Jasmine's living like, so also part of my mindset is like, okay, it is 6 p.m. on a weekday. So if I call, can I give Jasmine a 2-hour long discourse on like what I did that day? No. But can I be like,
can I
hey,
get the
I have
cliff
something.
notes?
Yeah, I have something like quick to tell you and I just needed to tell you. Yes, because I understand she's probably eating, she's probably like trying to figure out bedtime and it's probably a to do. We all just have responsibilities to lock in.
You have to just work it out, man.
Yeah, you have to just work it out, and it's just cool. Can Jasmine call me at 10 a.m. on a Saturday and probably know that I'm like watching a show or chilling? Yeah, because I'm a little bit more available. And that's not bad. That's okay.
It's
She's
fine.
not disrespecting.
And everything is good.
Yeah, she's not disrespecting the fact that I also have hobbies, but she's probably like, Chanel's probably a little bit more available. And that's okay. So at the end of the day, y'all, it's going to be okay. Because the world is a little depressing.
A little bit.
We're definitely not.
Sure aren't. Have a great weekend.
Love y'all.
Love you.
Bye.